Welcome to MFAA On Air.
This week, MFAA On Air spoke to MFAA CEO Phil Naylor and President Tim Brown about their most recent trip to Canada, their work taking the Housing Industry Roundtable to Canberra, and what they're looking forward to at the National Convention on the Gold Coast next week.
Well, I've been looking at other nations for the last 10 years, as their broker channels to compare with us and benchmark with us. And UK, USA, New Zealand and Canada are where there are strong broker channels. Well, we went to the convention, because it's a good place to meet a lot of people, especially brokers and the various broker groups, but also to understand what the issues are over there. And they're facing similar issues to us.
The MFAA now, for a number of years, has put forward that Canada as the supreme model, or the model that we should look to adopt because it's worked so well over there. And there are some very, very good reasons why we should, because through the GFC, their market continued to function, whereas ours stopped because they had this government guarantee already in place through the securitisation industry, which basically the government guarantees that these bonds will continue to perform.
But it's clear the Canadian system, where there is a strong securitisation market, also produces a strong non-bank lender market, and therefore much better competition in the lending market.
In Canada, they formed what they called a housing caucus, actually, and that was a group of different associations coming together to lobby the government for changes in relation to legislation around housing or investment or in the sense of funding. And through that, obviously, they have a much louder voice and they're well heard. So they have good representation now through the government.
Yeah, well, the Housing Roundtable started really as an idea that Tim Brown and I got when we were in Canada, because that was one of the learnings there. We noticed that the Canadian Association camp, as they're called, had an alliance with the various housing associations, the real estate institutes, housing associations and so forth. We got involved with other bodies as well to try and see what common interests we had and see whether we could lobby together. And the first start of that was establishing the Housing Affordability Roundtable, which was held in Canberra about a month ago. A key objective of the roundtable was to engage the federal government in the issue of housing affordability. The problem we've got with housing affordability in Australia is there are lots of different government agencies, federal, state and local, who are involved. And we think one of the problems is because we've got a lack of supply of housing in Australia, and that's the main issue behind housing affordability. We need to get the federal government to bring leadership. And at the convention, I'll certainly be speaking about some of the initiatives we've been involved in over the last year, our financial system inquiry, what we saw in Canada, the Housing Affordability Roundtable, those sorts of things that have been occupied a lot of our time in the last 6 to 9 months.
I love the convention. For me, it's a great opportunity to take some time out of the business and basically move from the dance floor to the balcony and be able to sit down over a couple of days, analyse, listen to some really good speakers, who have been very successful in their time, and give us advice on some things that we should be doing back in our business.
To see the full program and register for the MFAA 2014 National Convention, visit www.mfaaconvention.com.au. Registrations close at midnight, Wednesday the 7th of May.
You've been watching MFAA On Air.